Hello, and welcome to another B.T.F.O. Today we're going to be talking about two movies that have come out somewhat recently in the month of March. That being A Working Man and Ash. And we'll just start with A Working Man. This is the latest in the 1 to 2 word action film genre that comes out this year. I know this technically has 3 words in the title, but screw it. It doesn't get to escape. Yeah, this one I would not recommend. I don't think it's good. I mean, I think it comes... Like, I'm trying to think, maybe last as far as the 1 to 2 word action movies go. Because there are so many, I'll end up making a recap or ranking video at some point in the year. So I'm not gonna do that here. But basically, it's what should be a standard plot where Jason Statham works for these people and their daughter gets kidnapped, and so they ask Jason Statham to go find their daughter, and so he does that. But then the film, I don't know, it feels like they thought that premise could only really go for 15 minutes, which is just really lame, because it's man, the first Taken, that's a good movie, and it fucking, it doesn't veer off into all these weird side plots where, most of this movie is Jason Statham will find the person he needs to find, then, ask them a single question, and if they're hey, fuck you, buddy, or if they, say, I don't know that, he just goes, oh, okay, and kills them. And it's dude, what are you doing? A lot of your problems could be solved if you just asked them more questions. Instead of just going, oh, well, they don't know, so, I guess I'll just kill them. Because it is, first he tries to track down, the Russians, and he finds Jason Fleming, and he's okay, so I don't like the way that you treated your wife. You're gonna tell me where this girl is. And he's I don't know where the fuck that girl is. What the fuck are you talking about? And he's okay, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. And then drowns him in his own swimming pool. And it's dude, what are you No, the way that works is you let him drown for a little bit, and then you pull him back up and go, you sure you don't want to talk? You don't, just kill him immediately. And so then, because he does that, he's well, I still think it's the Russians that took her, so, let me call up random military buddy, who never pops up in the film again, which I found really weird, because, not Ron Perlman, David Harbour, he plays a different, old military buddy of Jason Statham, but for some reason they had, split this into 2 characters instead of just having David Harbour be his guy in the chair. And so the buddy tells him that oh, well, there's this bar, and they occasionally they sell drugs out of there, and I think they get them from the Russians. And so then we have this weird side plot where Jason Statham pretends to be a drug dealer and attempts to buy drugs from the bar so that he can go sell them. Which it's that's I don't think the bar would want that. Like, you know, like, I think that brings a lot more attention to their operation than they would want, you know? Um, Especially when, like, because Jason Statham, he gets this big bag of, like, crystal meth, and he throws it over, like, this, like, overpass into this river, and it's like, it's a plastic bag. They show it floating on the river. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you know, like, what if that pops up on the news of, like, oh, some kid fucking found a bag of, like, crystal meth? Like, you know, maybe don't do that. Like, that's a bad idea. But eventually, it just happens to work out that, like, the guy from the bar, after, like, 2 times of Jason Statham just saying, yeah, I'm gonna buy more drugs to sell, because, you know, they're just selling that good. When it's like, wouldn't you want to, like, I don't know, like, try and verify that somehow, that, like, he is selling? You know, like, wouldn't you find it kind of strange that, like, that's not impacting your market at all? That somehow he's just found a whole bunch of new customers, like, but they end up introducing him to the Russian guy, and it's the Russian guy that, like, Jason Statham is looking for, and then he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, now I'm gonna go do a bunch of other stuff before I go find that Russian guy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, then eventually he does find the Russian guy, and he gets him to tell him, like, where the girl, the, like, daughter is, and she's got this whole subplot that goes on about, like, there's the, like, couple of people who captured her, they're, like, ordered to kill her, and for some reason, instead of just killing her right there, they're like, hey, no, we need to go to a specific spot in the woods to go kill her. And it's like, no, like, sorry, but transporting a dead body is a lot easier than transporting a live one. Like, what are you doing? And, like, she starts to run away, and they're like, oh, well, like, we can't shoot her because, like, we need to bring her to the spot before we kill her. Then, like, they get her to the spot, and, like, right as they're about to kill her, they get a phone call that's like, hey, don't kill her. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is any of this in here? We can cut all of this. Like, this is not important whatsoever. And, like, yeah, it was just kind of annoying, especially where, you know, I get the mindset. I don't agree with it, but I get the mindset that people have of, like, oh, well, it's an action movie, like, you know, who cares about the story? Let's just watch the action. But in A Working Man, it's really hard to watch the action. It's, like, it's full of cuts, like, really shaky and hard to follow. And it's like, you know, like, I'm not looking forward to the ballerina, right, from the world of John Wick. Like, it's got Ana de Armas, and so, like, that'll be nice to watch her. But, like, at least I know the action in those movies, even though it probably won't make sense. The John Wick movies do all have, like, very pretty looking action. Like, it's very easy to follow what's going on, and, like, you know, you're not, like, constantly having to question, like, who's doing what. And so, yeah, I would not recommend A Working Man. Yeah, please don't go see it. And then we'll talk about Ash. Ash is a new low budget. I want to say, I don't actually know the budget on it. I would guess it's low. but it's got Aaron Paul and I forget the gal's name. But she's pretty good. I've been surprised because I've seen her in this and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Baby Driver, and each time I've gone out of the theater and looked up, well, who is that person? I don't think I've seen them before. So, it is nice that she's got quite a bit of range to her, acting performances. But as far as the story of Ash goes, it is very basic, kind of art school-esque, this is my masterpiece type filmmaking, where it's told out of chronological order, and it feels like it'd be one of those things where you'd ask them why, and they'd go, oh, well, because Tarantino does it, and Tarantino's films are great. And it's like, well, so Tarantino only does it sometimes, but also, that's not what makes Tarantino. Pulp Fiction isn't great because it's told out of order. If you told it in order, it would still be good. But, there is a point to telling Pulp Fiction out of order. That, it helps the 3-act structure flow better that way. But in this, it's just she wakes up after most everything has happened, and then kind of they do the middle part of the movie, and then she gets her memory back, and so we play out the first part of the movie, and then there's a little ending. It's yeah, I kind of wish that you didn't do that. And it's pretty basic as far as a sci-fi plot goes. They're a group of humans on this planet where they find terraforming engines on it, and so they think it might be the key to humanity's survival. And then this weird alien parasite virus comes out and takes over each member of the crew, though in this the parasite is kind of fucking stupid, where every single member of the crew that it takes over, they end up dying, and so it has to jump to a different member of the crew, which I find really strange, because they have a conversation near the end with the main girl and the parasite while it's in her head, and it's oh yeah, humans are fucking stupid, you've destroyed your own planet, and I just had to take control of one of you to get rid of all of you. And it's dude, no, I mean, they were trying to kill you specifically, and they did kill every host that you took over, so I don't know if that's really a valid point, Mr. Alien. You could go fuck off. But then I don't know, it's really bizarre, where she ends up getting the alien removed because somehow she manages to have enough time of being fully conscious with it inside of her that she can get over to the medical robot and have it removed. And then she ends up leaving, and it's oh, hooray. And it's wow, this is just, I mean, it feels a lot like Alien, but just done 1,000 times worse. It's really kind of sad. Because, visually, it looks alright. There was one moment where, because they use a lot of monochromatic lighting throughout the movie, which is another one of those kind of art school traits. It's like, look, I get it, like, especially in the space station where, like, you know, it's got the warning lights on, like, that makes some sense to have, like, just big red lights. But there's one shot where we're looking up at the main character and the light behind her changes from red to orange to yellow to green to blue, violet, indigo. It's just sort of like, but what are we doing? Like, I get it. Colors are very pretty, but come on, like, this has nothing to do with the story. You're kind of wasting time here. Like, you know, let's cut out the rainbow light, all right? Like, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend Ash. I mean, I don't know. To me, it seems like a straight to, like, Tubi movie. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. I guess I didn't say that, like, I hated it. I wouldn't say that. But yeah, it wasn't great. There's really not all that much to take away from it in terms of, like, ooh, that was really cool. Like, it looks good, the acting's good, the effects and stuff are pretty good for the most part. But yeah, I would not recommend it. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and bye bye.